The November election now just over a month away.
And one of the most closely watched races is the race for San Diego mayor. Mayor Todd Gloria is being challenged by Larry Turner, and San Diego mayoral candidate Larry Turner joins us in studio this morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you all doing?
Wonderful.
Good.
So let's start with this. Some of the biggest issues that the city is facing, let's talk about that and what your plans are.
Sure. Well, I mean, we could talk about homelessness first. My plan is immediately on day one, we've got to find some bigger Band-Aids to put on top of the mayor's Band-Aid plan. He's about to lose 1,000 beds in January. So we're going to have a net loss of housing or of shelter beds for the homeless coming up in January. We got to do something about that right away. So the longer term plan is build more shelter beds, but we've got to be able to stop the bleeding on the beds. We're going to have a net loss. I think it's 280 beds from when he took office. So we got to get to that right away. And then after that, it's just putting my plan in place, which is understanding the root causes of homelessness. You know, I learned last night that the study the mayor uses is based on a developer funding a study that basically showed what you would guess a developer's funded study would be, is that we don't have enough development. But that's not the case. You know, it's really a mental health and a chemical addiction issue that we got to tackle.
The question here is, what studies would then you use, and what specific plans would you have? Because this is not a Todd Gloria problem. This is not. This has been a consistent problem through many different administrations, Republican, Democrat. Same with the roads. So, what are your specific plans to help out?
What I tell you is it's doubled in the last 4 years here in San Diego. So yeah, it had grown under some administrations. The last administration, though, believe it or not, had double-digit decreases year after year in homelessness. So there are things that can work. There's some common sense approach. What my plan would be is beds for everyone who's on the street who needs a bed. We don't have that right now. How we build it with a partnership with the private and public sector. The philanthropic community in San Diego has a big heart and huge checkbooks that they're ready to build these beds.
Have they not been using those checkbooks and doing that over the last?
Many have not. You know, I work with one group, and you know what I did before I ran for mayor, working with them. We have plenty of people who want to fund these types of things, have the beds, have the wraparound services, have that continuum of care to get people to eventually be in their own apartment. Why don't they write the check now? There's no partnership with the city on that. They want to see that there's a city committed to follow a plan that's going to work, and they know that this one isn't working.
And I know you have a unique perspective as a police officer. You're out there on the streets. You see it in real time, in the real world. How has that impacted or changed the way you see a lot of the issues in our city?
Well, I think what it did was it made me realize, you know, why the plans aren't working, because I actually talked to the people that we want to use the plan. So, you know, we can ask them all day long, would you like to go to this shelter that the mayor has put in place? And they say no, and we wonder why they're saying no. Well, you got to know them. And I've talked to thousands of homeless people, and I've you know, we've had donuts in the tents with them. I've asked thousands of them, what will it take for you to take my offer of a helping hand to help you change your life? And I know I got the answers for that. So those studies you asked earlier, you know, the research that's going to happen is going out and asking the right questions. So we can't just ask people, how did you get here? Most of the time their answer is, well, I couldn't pay rent. But we got to go on further. Why could you not pay rent? Why did you lose your job? Why did you not have money? And then we fix that problem. So it isn't necessarily a housing issue. But that's why we're in this build. You know, we believe that there is a housing crisis. There is not a housing crisis. We have a housing glut in San Diego. What we have is an affordable housing crisis. So we need to attack that problem. We don't need more market rate housing in San Diego.
What else do you hope to accomplish if you are elected? I know that you have an extensive background as being a Marine as well, 23 years in the Marine Corps. So how is that going to help you with what your goals are?
Well, my executive leadership experience leading people all around the world will definitely help with putting that right team together. We've already got a really good team. So if we're talking about on public safety side of it, it's being real with the numbers. It's about making a system where people can report crime. Right now they don't. You know, we have plenty of people who reach out to me. I'm a community relations officer in San Diego. They say, Larry, you know, I can't be on hold that long to report things. I got a business to run. I just don't call anymore because the police can't do anything about it. I don't call anymore because the social workers can't take someone to a bed because there's not beds. So we have a underreporting of crime, and then those that are the most vulnerable amongst us, the homeless, they're victims of sexual assault, of robbery, stabbings. You know, and of course, fentanyl being pushed on them. So they don't report that. They don't have a phone, or they just, you know, it's just part of the lifestyle on the street. They're not going to report this. So we need to get real with everybody. Crime is much higher than what they think. We all know that. We don't feel safe in San Diego anymore. So just having a mayor that's honest about it, go out there and do the correct studies, and make an avenue where we can get that flow of information from the community of where the crime is and respond in a timely amount.
What do you do on day one if elected as mayor?
Yeah, immediately is the Band-Aid on his Band-Aid approach. We got to stop the closing of these homeless shelters that he's put in place. I'm not a big fan of the homeless shelters that he's put together, but I can't have those fall apart in January, and that's what's inbound.
Sure.
Yeah, so we can talk about how many shelter beds we have right now. They're all gone in January. So let's talk about very near future, just in a few months. We're gonna have 1,000 more people out on the street.
All right, Larry Turner running for San Diego mayor. The election, I think, if I do the math, it's what, 5 weeks away?
Yeah, we're almost there.
Be here like that.
It will.
We appreciate the time.
No, thanks a lot. It's exciting.
All right.
Tomorrow, San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria will join us in studio to talk about his re-election campaign.